So Sophie Cunningham, obviously, in the last week or so, has become a meme. She's become a meme. There's been, complete nonsense rumblings of a suspension, but at the end of the day, it has just been a bad timing that every time she kind of goes semi-viral, she ends up either getting injured or sick. Obviously, correlation is not causation, but people are going to run with things if they correlate. And this is something that, she said the quiet part out loud that everyone has to say, like everyone kind of knows. And by the way, this is going to offend about 10 players in the league. And it's going to offend the people that were in the league back when the biggest news story for a season was Gideon falling asleep. Not people that were that have been in the NIL era of college, not people that have been around social media, around the media for their entire careers. But anyway, let's take a listen.
Honestly, I don't know what our league does to help with that. If they really do anything, you can put out statements as much as you want, but at the end of the day, you're in an entertainment business. That's when mental toughness comes in. If you're going to live by praise, you're going to die by the hate. And so I think that's on the individual person to have mental toughness. Some people can deal with it, some people can't. And I think you can see the ones who can. And unfortunately, there are some who can't. And it's not beneficial to them. But you can't control what other people say or what other people do. All you can do is control yourself, how you treat people. Speak up, and support people who, maybe don't have a voice or don't have the courage to do that. But it's one of those things. You're in the entertainment business and you have to expect it.
Yeah, she's not wrong. They're going to attack her, but you know what? Sophie Cunningham doesn't care. She doesn't care. It needed to be said by somebody. Sophie's probably the right person to say this, because not that the statement is tone deaf, but it's absolutely correct. But if you look at Sophie and you look at, for example, all the other players in the league and on the Fever, it's absolutely correct. I think we can all agree that what Sophie Cunningham has said is factually correct. There is no way that anyone can really question what Sophie Cunningham has said. But, big but here, while yes, it is factually correct, and I agree again that it's factually correct, it's going to piss off other players in the league. I'm sorry, if you are Alyssa Thomas, you're going to be pissed off because it seems like Sophie Cunningham is calling you out by name. And she's not. She's calling out a whole group of players. But especially with these older players that can't deal with any of the online stuff, they can't deal with being the entertainment business, because I think there are some players that believe there are some players in the league that felt like that were happy being a charity case. The WNBA at this point in time is not a charity case. Even without Caitlin Clark, are the players getting paid millions of dollars without Caitlin Clark? No. But those 200, 300K, let's be real. If the max salary was 500K and the salary cap was a couple of million a year, the max salary was 500 and everything just doubled from the last CBA. That's probably sustainable. And maybe the players get a cut of net revenue instead of gross revenue. That is sustainable, and the players will be living pretty decent lives. And that version of WNBA is still sustainable without Caitlin. Obviously, the $1 million salaries continuously growing isn't. But it's funny where it's they still want it to be... They will be happy to go back to a WNBA that was only alive because of the NBA's charity. They'd be happy to go back to that. And at the end of the day, they shouldn't. And the league... I fully believe the league should have anticipated this and put in classes. And if the players had an issue with them or didn't want to attend classes on how to deal with this, and bringing in guest speakers to teams, having team employees monitor social media and manage people's social media accounts, if any player forfeits those classes, if any player doesn't want to go to those classes, don't make them mandatory. If a player doesn't want to go to those classes, if a player doesn't want to have someone managing their social media, then they essentially forfeit the right to complain. They forfeit the right to complain, because that is all the WNBA can do. And I don't think they've done a good enough job. As Sophie said, they're not doing anything, because putting out statements isn't going to help anything. It's not. It has to be done internally. You're not going to you're not going to stop what random people are saying online. What you're going to have to stop is the only thing you can do is try to help people in the league deal with it, and then make sure as hell teams have the right security measures. Because as we've seen again with Sophie herself, and like again with Sophie Cunningham, the online hate's not going to get there because she's having to deal with an actual stalker. With her, Caitlin, Angel, you can't control other people saying all you can do is how you treat people. Speak up, support the people who maybe don't have a voice or don't have the courage to say that. Just her entire statement was wild to trivialize the explosion of racism and homophobia. Like, I mean this when I say this. It's like people online will go for what they think is going to get under your skin the most. It is unfortunate. It is unfortunate that the same accounts that are there that would make that statement are if ever I say something that comes along their timeline they don't agree with, immediately go to where I'm from with a xenophobic insult. Because that's unfortunately the way it is. When somebody wants to get under someone's skin, especially online, they go for whatever they feel like is the lowest thing that is going to hurt them. And the unfortunate thing is that and again, like, let's be very clear. I'm not saying any of it's right. I don't think you need to twist my words into saying that. The important thing is that, the important thing is, like, players need to have, like, things there to deal with that. And when players do get that type of abuse, let's be very clear. Like, if something crosses a line, report it. Have employees for your team that work with law enforcement to report these, especially if it's threats. Because let's be very clear, like, if WNBA players are out there individually reporting and trying to file everything to police online, it can take up way too much time out of their day, and that could fuck with their mental. Have people in teams that are monitoring social media, are monitoring all of this, that are working with law enforcement. The league needs to do something, but Sophie's not wrong. Sophie's not wrong. There's no amount of statements. Everyone that's a decent person, which is 95% of the world. Let's be very clear. There's 2.5% of people on either side. Maybe let's just go with the way the world's gone right now. There's 5% on either side of the extremes that are just bad people. Maybe 90% of people are good people. I would have said 95% if this was a couple of years ago, but let's just say, for argument's sake, 90% of people are good people. The 10% obviously control the outcome for everything. But unfortunately, those 10% are impossible. If somebody wants to go out of their way to piss you off online and say the most disgusting thing imaginable that you can think of, they're going to do it. They're going to do it. And it's hilarious as well when it comes down to it, because the Indiana Fever players as a team are very good at, dealing with all the media shit and making the main thing. We haven't heard a single thing about the abuse that Raven Johnson's gotten and Maish Hines-Allen have gotten for defending Caitlin. Because let's be very clear when it comes to the WNBA, when it comes to these players, when it comes to this league, when it comes to the fans, Caitlin Clark bad is the prevailing narrative. If you were in the WNBA prior to 2021, Caitlin Clark bad is the prevailing narrative. You want her gone. You preferred what it was. It is what it is. But anyway, yeah, that is the video. I'll see you guys.